them. I really hope you can't hear the construction work that's going on outside. Every day I got to wake up at 8 a.m. Imagine that. An unemployed man trying to make it, having to wake up at 8 a.m. because that's when they start the construction work outside of my window, and I cannot continue to sleep. I am really suffering out here. Well, anyways, with this, welcome to the review of the month. This is January, which was my first real month actually trying to build something, not just dreaming about it and planning, but actually going out, putting myself out there and doing the hard and scary shit. It's not a success story yet. I would still consider it a learning month. So one of my gripes last December, in the last review, was that I hadn't yet started the walking club. However, I put in the works, I printed out some flyers, I posted on Facebook, and I tried to get the name out there, Walk and Talk. But actually, putting out all these flyers and approaching businesses, asking them if I could leave them there or hang them up there, was more uncomfortable than I anticipated. I thought that December had already trained me to a certain extent to just go out of my comfort zone more than I'm used to and approach people, talk to them, and make new connections. But trying to advertise something, even though it is free, my walking club is a communal thing. It is completely free. I'm doing this because I want to create a community for the old people so they can get to know each other. We can move together. I can meet them too. Also see what needs they have and then how I can best cater towards them. But anyways, even though I'm not actually trying to sell these businesses anything where I want to put up my flyers, it was emotionally draining just going in, working up the confidence to tell them what I'm doing, what I'm intending to do, and then begging them basically to leave my flyer there. But then the walking club actually started. And the first week, no one showed up. It was just me and my parents. So we did the route together, and I used it as an experiment to see how many stops do I need to move, how many exercises per stop, and will this route even work for the walking club? So it was really good. I took some mental notes, and then the next week, 5 people showed up. Okay, 2 were my friends, but the rest was new people. And then the week after, my 2 friends didn't join, another 5 people came. So it's going somewhere. It hasn't exploded yet, but at least it started. And I already have a couple of regular seniors, which is really nice. Now let's chat about something that was a bit more fruitful this month and I was actually very happy with, which was my creative output. I took some photos I genuinely like. I had a bunch of visitors over, first my parents, then a friend, and then I also did some trips with a friend of mine called Chris. Chris is from Scotland. He was here for 2 months and now sadly left. Chris, if you're watching this, shout out to you. I'll miss you. Another thing I was doing was filming more with my phone again because I got the iPhone 15 Pro and I originally bought it to shoot videos in a log format, which is like a really flat format you can color grade later. I have a bunch of fun doing that. I did it initially when getting it in 2024 when visiting the US with one of my best friends, but then I kind of neglected it. But this month I took some clips that you've already seen in the intro that I'm really proud of, and I had a lot of fun. And I also came to the conclusion that if I just like shooting these kinds of videos, I might as well post them. And I thought Instagram is the place to do this because here on YouTube, I want to present honestly and document honestly what I'm doing, not as artsy. And on Instagram, I can post a bit more curated and a bit more in line with a visual diary. Now let's take a look through my sketchbook and what I've been drawn to, pun intended, this month. So my sketches are mostly abstract sentences or words, and I've started to include what I've written or what I've drawn in an actual description. This is something that I just want to remember, and I do think kind of in its block-shaped format, it's also really cool. It says, embrace what you like. We as adults have now the power to just be however we want to be without necessarily trying to get the same amount of approval that we had when we were still in school and everyone just wanted to fit in and be cool. Just embrace what you like. I think I am doing this pretty well these days, and I'm proud of that. This spread shows the duality of a man, feeling so lost on the one hand, and then a couple of days later, making coffee. Oh, this is a nice page. I really like the composition on this one. It says, when will I find a nice girl? And I drew this on the bus. This one says, caves are sick, and I've been watching some more archaeological content on YouTube, and what can I say? Caves are pretty sick. I'm a caveman after all. Speaking of epiphanies, one thing I noticed this month, which is kind of a suffering from success type story, is that having visitors put me in a weird headspace. Whenever I worked on my business, I felt like I neglected my visitors. And then when I didn't work on my business, I felt guilty for not working on my business. So it was a bit of a weird dilemma I was in. When my parents were here, I was really grateful that they were here because they supported me and they pushed me to do a bunch of business stuff. But still, I had to adapt my routines, and it showed me how fragile these little silly routines are that I've put up for myself. I'm not a big routine guy in general because, I already know that routines are going to change. Like, you're never going to have perfect weeks where everything goes the way you planned it. There's always going to be something coming up that was unexpected. So I don't even bother too much with the routines, but some things, like for example, my gym routine, this is locked in, and there I'm kind of iffy if things don't go my way all the time. I am a bit flexible, but to an extent. Something else that kind of plays along the same line of routines and failing routines was that this month I tried to better my skin through an elimination diet. So basically, I wanted to find out in true scientist fashion which foods I'm eating might trigger my acne. I've been dealing with acne for one and a half years now. It was bad when I was a teenager, then it got better, and now it has gotten worse again. So I thought, I might as well try to eliminate some food groups to see whether or not I react to them. And it actually worked. For the week I stuck to it. But then I felt really stressed because of my business stuff. And then also in social situations, I didn't want to always maintain it and stick to it and be the odd one out. So I broke it a bunch of times and therefore kind of sabotaged my own experiment. In hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have chosen January for this, because it might not have been the right time of month to restrict comfort, because ultimately, food is comforting, right? Like me sitting on the couch at night, having a bowl of cereal or snacking on some dark chocolate. This is dopamine, right? It's satisfaction, and I didn't have that. And then, I broke it. I still learned something from this experiment, but I will repeat it when I've got a bit more routine in my life. Oh, here's also a very sweet story. I met a guy at the gym called Charlie. This was around Christmas time. I forgot to tell that in the last video. And he told me that he met his girlfriend here on the island last Christmas. They met on a dating app and then went on their first date on Christmas. And ever since then, they've been together. She's from Germany, he is from England. And this story gave me a bit of a hopeless romantic hope. Maybe it's okay to sometimes be delusional. I guess we need some fun in life too, right? So it prompted me to be even more delusional. You think that's impossible? I'll prove you wrong. Although I did take some really nice videos of the ocean this month, I actually haven't been in it at all. There has been lots of rain recently and some more cooler days, which is cool because the island is greener right now, but I missed going into the sea. And I know I could have gone. I even have a wetsuit hanging in my closet I could have worn, but it's just too much of a hassle. So in summary, January didn't give me real results, it gave me information. I've barely started. I still feel like I haven't put myself out there enough. Like there's still so much I can do to actually help to kickstart my business for real, which is what I'm going to do in February. February is the month of being seen. It's all about getting myself out there without losing what I care for. I will report back to you in February. Until then, have some fun. Go out on a walk, take in some nature, and just realize that all the stuff that we worry about is not actually that deep. This is how I'm going to end this. See you next month. Ciao, ciao.